Mr. Pat Flynn in the house.
I'm muted. Hey, how are you, Christine?
Hi,
I'm so stoked
Pat.
to be here.
Thank you so much for being here. I am so excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here, and I'm on time too. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it because I just finished up another call, but I really wanted to make sure, knowing this was live, that I was here for you and your audience.
Thank you so much. With that in mind, we will dive right in so that you can make it to your next call on time too.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, we're on a little podcasting tour right now for the book, so this is a lot of fun. I'm just super thankful for the support and for allowing me to share with you.
Yeah, and I'm excited to share this with my audience because I know that what you have to share in this book and the message behind it is exactly what my community needs to hear. So thank you for making the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm here to serve.
Awesome. Let's dive in, and I want to make sure everybody is caught up to speed on who you are. So welcome everyone to the number one thing that you can do to easily grow your business now with Pat Flynn. If you don't know who Pat Flynn is, or it's been a while since you heard what he was up to, he's a father, husband, and entrepreneur who has built several very successful businesses online. And these are businesses that support his life and support his core values instead of vice versa. It's one of many reasons that I wanted to have him here today. He's a professional blogger, keynote speaker, Wall Street Journal bestselling author, and host of the Smart Passive Income and Ask Pat podcasts, which have earned a combined total of over 55 million downloads, multiple awards, and features in publications like the New York Times and Forbes. He's been everywhere. And you know what? This started suddenly when he got laid off years ago, and he had to find a way to replace his income, like I know so many of you are looking to do. He gets it. He gets where you've been today. I want to help you quickly replace your income and scale to six figures with a business that you love, and I know Pat does too. That shared value, among many others, are why he is here today to share with us. Now, we are going to dive right in and talk about your new book, right, Pat?
Yes, and I have it right here. I just literally got it in the mail the other day, and it's just like, it's real. Like actually, like I could touch it, which is amazing. But really, what's the important part is what's inside and why it was created. It's created because I think that now more than ever, we're starting to feel a shift in the business space and in social media. There's a lot of things that have changed over time. I don't know about you, but I have some large numbers on my social media, yet not everybody sees what I post. And even if you have like 100 followers, not all 100 followers are seeing your posts anymore. It's getting harder and harder to sort of get new people to come and find you. And what this book is about is really about, okay, well, yes, getting new people to find you is important, but what happens inside your business, inside your brand, when people finally find you? How do you create those magical moments for them so that they will become a fan over time? That's actually going to, in turn, grow your business for you and get more people to come in. So instead of kind of like looking outside of your business and trying to pull people in, look inside your business and the people who are already there. Even if it's just two people, you can build fans so that they'll bring more people in for you who are much warmer and going to be more likely to be repeat customers over time. And really this comes from a number of things. And you mentioned a magical number there, six figures, right? Which I think is a big goal for a lot of people. And that's amazing. There's amazing things that can happen in your life when you reach that figure. But a lot of us see that light, it's so far at the end of the tunnel, right? It's like, how am I even going to get there? And what's really cool about fans is, and this book in particular was inspired by an article that was actually written in 2007 called 1,000 True Fans. It was written by a guy named Kevin Kelly. And the thesis of this article, 1,000 True Fans, was that if you had 1,000 true fans, super fans, these are the people who, if you produce music, they will travel 8 hours to see your set and then wait for you backstage because they want to get a selfie with you, right? If you create products, they're going to buy every product and they won't even read the sales page because they're such big fans. If you produce movies, they're going to be on the front row and wait for you to come after and sign their program. Like, these are super fans, right? If you just had 1,000 of them, and on the low side, if they were to pay you, for example, $100 a year, I know that I pay $100 a month for things that I'm not even close to a fan of, like cable TV or whatever, right? That's less than $10 a year. So low end, $100 a year times 1,000 super fans, there's a six-figure business right there. There's $100,000. So the thesis, and this is why this article was really inspiring to me, is because you don't need a blockbuster hit with millions of people seeing that thing in order to support your life and to give you something fulfilling. You just need and work toward 1,000 true fans. And if you want to put that into perspective, that's one fan a day for less than 3 years. We can all make a new fan every single day, I think. So again, this is just really inspiring and motivating because it's like, whoa, it actually won't be unlikely for this to happen if I focus on creating these super fans. And likely when you have one can turn into five can turn into 50. And I remember in my first business, which was related to architecture, I came from the architecture world. I was laid off in 2008. And like you said, I had to survive. And I did that by building an online business, helping people pass a very niched architecture exam. It's called the LEED exam. Most people don't even know about it. But I remember building a website and getting found in Google, then creating a study guide and selling that study guide for $19. And then in October of 2008, a few months after I was laid off, I was able to make 2.5 times more that month than what I had made in architecture. And it just blew me away. But what blew me away more than just the income that was coming in was the response from people who were emailing me with like their life story saying, wow, I finally passed this exam. It took me so long. Thank you so much. I was able to get a raise. I was able to get a promotion. Thank you for the help. And there was one person in particular, her name was Jackie. She emailed me and said it took her over a year to study. And it wasn't until she found my stuff that she passed the exam. Number one, she invited me to dinner. I had no idea who this was. And I was like, I just helped you pass an exam. You want me to go to dinner with you? Okay, I don't think my wife would be interested in that. But so I declined that. But at the end of this email, the most interesting thing was when she said, thanks, Pat. I'm a huge fan, Jackie. And I was like, huge fan? Like, what? Like, I just helped you pass an exam. Like, I'm a fan of athletes and musicians, not, people who help me pass an exam. So I just kind of brushed that off. But I realized over the next 2 months that Jackie had done something amazing. I noticed that there were 25 new customers who came in from the same exact firm that she was at. And I realized, and this was after she told me, she had convinced every single person in her office, her boss included, to buy my study guide. It was just an electronic study guide too. She could have literally just shared it with everybody, but she wanted to make sure that I got paid back in return. It just shows you the power of focusing on one person's experience and what that one person can do to grow and build and scale your business. And quite honestly, building for superfans is so much more fun than search engine optimization or paying for Facebook ads. And yes, those things can work and they are important. But I think building for those magical moments in your business and your following, no matter how big or small it is the key to growth and success and future-proofing your brand.
I love that. And I was lucky enough to get a preview copy of the book. Would you allow me to read one of my favorite quotes from it?
Oh, please. Yes, I'm excited. I've never heard anybody quote it yet. So this will be the first time.
Oh my gosh. I love that. I love that. So when I read this, I knew I had to talk to you about this. You said, focusing on creating super fans is more important than any other activity in your business. It's more important than getting more traffic, more followers, more views, or more subscribers. It's even more important than building your email list and acquiring more customers. Because when you focus on this as a byproduct, you'll get more traffic, followers, views, and subscribers. They'll be more likely to buy from you too. And when you do this, you're building a future-proof brand that will allow you to succeed no matter what the business or technological environment looks like. You have flipped everything that we hear about how you're supposed to build a business on its head. And I love that.
Literally. And my sort of path through this sequence, first of all, a person's not a fan of a musician the first time they hear that song, right? The first time they're introducing them. Building a fan takes time. It's not about the moment they find you. It's about the moments that you create for them over time. And the path that I take is like, if you imagine your user base sort of like a pyramid, right? So the base at the bottom is the biggest and the smallest part at the top, like a triangle. The bottom part, the largest portion, is what I like to call your casual audience. These are the people who have just found you. They don't really know who you are, but you've answered their question or they found you on Google or a link somewhere else. That's your biggest user base. And when you pay for ads, when you focus on search engine optimization, that's the part that you're building, right? And that's the part that you're focused on. But let me ask you, where is most of the engagement coming from? Where are most of the repeat customers coming from? They're at the top of this pyramid where the super fans are, right? And there's stuff in between to get them there. So there's casual audience, and then there's the active audience, which is the subscribers and the followers. They know you, who you are, what you have to offer, but they're not quite fans yet. But in between, there's the connected community. where you're not only talking to your people, they're not only talking to you, but they're talking to each other. That's where some magic can happen. And then from there is the super fans, the smallest portion at the top. Now, if I were to flip that upside down and it became a reverse triangle with that largest chunk at the top, what does that look like? That looks like a funnel. And that's what everybody teaches, the funnel. Like I literally did flip it upside down, like you said. And at the top is where you put the traffic in, right? The funnels are important, right? We need to go, okay, so, this many people came to my website, certain percentage of them came to my sales page, certain percentage of them bought, etc. But the problem with that is a funnel works with gravity, where when you put water on the top, gravity does its thing and it comes off the bottom, right? Unfortunately, when you're building for super fans, it's the opposite. There's gravity working against you. It takes hard work. It takes some thinking. It takes some time. And that's where a lot of, I think, businesses get in trouble, is where they go, oh, funnel. Okay, this sounds cool. I can just build this once and then I just get traffic and then it's going to work. Okay, but what happens when everybody else is doing the exact same thing? How are you going to differentiate your experience versus somebody else's? It's when you flip the script and go up the pyramid and build for those super fan moments.
I love that. So there are a ton of amazing examples and exercises in the book, and I want everybody to go buy it and dive in, because it truly is a masterful work of explaining all of this. And giving a lot of examples and details and exercises and things like that. How did this look in the very beginning of your business? Like, it sounds like it's sort of with Jackie, it kind of almost happened. It surprised you, right? It wasn't a strategy you were using yet. So what did this look like when your audience was small?
Yeah, when my audience was small, it was a person would send me an email asking a question, and not only would I respond, but I would go a little bit over the top with making sure that person got a response that really actually helped them, and even added some additional items to further serve that person. And this is the cool thing about those businesses that are small. Maybe you're watching this right now live or on a replay and you're like, oh, well, I'm not as big as Pat. I can't do that. Yes, you can. Because the truth is, you actually have an advantage being small. You have a bigger opportunity to directly connect with and serve and provide those moments for a larger percentage of your audience. Yes, in an overall sense, it's less people, but it's a bigger percentage. And that thus, in turn, begins to reflect on you as a brand and what people can expect who are coming in who are brand new. Oh, you got to go to Christine, because when you go to her website and you enter her email list, like, you can actually get a response from her. And that's like unlike anywhere else. And it just starts simple there. And I used to reply to every single comment. I used to reply to every single email with the greatest of service. And now I'm at a point where I can't do that anymore. So I found that, a lot of people who are doing the same stuff that I'm doing in my space are actually able to outcompete me in the amount of time that I could give to somebody, because I just have all these projects going on. So that's your advantage being small. You have the opportunity to give some extra care to those initial subscribers, those initial pieces of, traffic that's coming to your website. If you have 20 people on your email list, go reach out, have a phone conversation with each of them. Learn their language and the lyrics that they respond to. What are the biggest struggles that they're all having? And even though it's only for 20 people, those 20 people represent the 200,000 people that also have the same problem, who are now going to feel like they found the right person because you understand them, because they're just like those 20 first subscribers that you have. So in the beginning, you actually have a bigger opportunity. I'm not first of all, my website's Smart Passive Income. This is the least passive thing you can do. When you're starting out, it takes work, it takes time.
Yep.
And really what can help you is just reframing your mind as you are a problem solver. Therefore, you need to know what the problems are. And if you are guessing at any point, you aren't doing enough research. And not research like I'm going to go to Facebook pages and create Excel files and stuff, but you're not having enough conversations with your audience. You should be able to have enough of those to understand that whatever it is that you're creating, whatever it is that you're writing, whatever it is that you're podcasting about, is something that they would actually need help with, that they would just be thirsty for. And if you aren't at that point, you're just guessing, and we shouldn't have to guess anymore. We have these amazing tools to connect with our audiences nowadays. So in the beginning, you have that huge advantage, and take advantage of that.
Yes, I love that. Now, what would you say to those people who are sitting there thinking, oh, this is going to take too long to make money from? I don't know. It sounds like too much work.
Then I would say, well, you're thinking about the money too early. Yes, it's important to think about money. Yes, it's important to build a business so that you can, support your lifestyle and better support others. But when you find the problems, you find the profit. Okay. When you find the problems, you find the profit. So focus on that first, because profit can be eaten away at all the time you're wasting on the stuff that may or may not work.
Yes.
It is when you find out what it is that can actually serve a person that you can then, number one, create a solution for them or recommend a solution and get paid through means of affiliate marketing, which is another possibility. There's products that they're likely already buying or should buy that you don't have to create yourself. So affiliate marketing is a big opportunity to get to the money, quote, sooner, because these products, these solutions may already exist. You just need to partner with those companies or join their affiliate program. But then even if you are creating your own products, by creating these real connections with people, then you're able to go, hey, Jim, we had that conversation. I understood your problem. I listened. Here is a online course that I'm thinking of creating that would potentially solve these issues that you're having. I want you to look at the outline. Tell me what you think. What is missing here? And I would love for you to be one of my beta testers, because I'd love to run this program through you. And you can be one of the first 5, and I'll give it to you at a discounted price or even for free. And then what happens? Then number one, you're getting your audience to literally create that product for you. They're giving you what's wrong, what's right, so that you can have that confidence moving forward. And that's the biggest thing, is just having the confidence that what it is that you're creating is actually helpful. Because when you have that confidence, then you can go and give them help. It's the analogy I like to use in business is we're all, like most businesses, we're like on a boat, right? Like a little rowboat, and our customers are there in the water drowning. They are drowning in whatever it is that problem is. Analogy, they're drowning, and we don't have anything but our hands to help them. And we could reach over. It might be a little dangerous. The boat, might tip a little bit. But are you going to go, hey, I'm a little scared of the water. It's a little cold. I'm a little afraid. I don't know how to swim very well, so I'm not actually going to help you. I see you drowning. My solution's here. I could lean over, but I'm not going to do it because I'm too scared. Like if it was real life, you would actually muster up the courage to help a person, right? And I think we don't realize that these numbers behind our social following, the numbers behind our email list, are actual human beings who are drowning in whatever the problem is that it might be. Even if you're an entertainer, for example, people are drowning in boredom. That's your solution. But it doesn't matter. You have the ability to help people. Are you going to let that fear get in the way? That's kind of sad.
I love that frame. Gold nuggets from Pat Flynn.
Thank you.
So what was your light bulb moment when you realized that creating superfans was actually one of your superpowers?
Yeah, it was when I went to a conference. I just started my podcast, and it was like one of the first conferences I've been to. And this conference is no longer around. It was called New Media Expo. It was in Vegas, and it was a pretty big conference for bloggers and podcasters. And I went there, and I had people, like random people, come up to me and just go, oh my gosh, I love your show. This is amazing. Like, can you tell me more about this? And they just wanted to like be around me. And I was like, huh? Like what? I'm just like a regular dude who just produces content from my microphone at home. Like, why would you want to hang out with me? Like, there's so many more incredible people here who are much more successful than me. Like, why me? And I realized that we all have the ability to, with our own vibe, attract our own tribe. And that's what I was able to do through my voice in the podcast, which is why I love podcasting. Live streaming also is great because you get that emotion and you get the real lifeness of a person on the other end. And it was funny because specifically for podcasting, I was only podcasting once every other week back then. And I was blogging 3 times a week. And it wasn't until I started to realize that most people who I was talking to were commenting about the podcast that I actually had to flip it around and do more podcasting than I was blogging. It was just really interesting to me. And that's when I doubled down and really got serious about it because I was seeing the impact that it was making. But it's crazy. And now I'm at a point where, I can tweet that I'm going to be at a restaurant somewhere on a trip or something. And if I give, a couple hours notice, I'll go there and there'll be like 25, 30 people who are just like, Pat, I just wanted to meet you. Like, can you sign my book or just, can I take a selfie? And I'm just like, it makes sense to me now because I've studied it and I've researched it and I've wrote the book on it, but it just still blows me away. And hopefully this just encourages all of you because I'm a regular person too. It's just like, we all have the ability to become somebody's favorite. And it's these strategies in this book that allow you to understand how to do that in a genuine way. Because I know a lot of people who are trying to be other people's favorite by renting Lamborghinis and
Yes.
renting mansions and taking photos and just being like, yo, look at me, cool. Like, okay, a person might be interested and you might be able to build a large following, but it's not because of who you actually are. It's because of all the things that you are putting around you. And there comes a point when you try to cash in on that and it never works. There was a recent story about a woman who had grown her Instagram following to like 2 point something million. And she tried to sell a t-shirt. I don't know if you heard about this. But she tried to sell a shirt to her 2 million followers on Instagram. She sold 26. And she was so disappointed. And it was very clear that she just was not engaging with her audience. She wasn't creating those fan-like moments. She was just building her numbers and hoping that Instagram followers equals dollars. I guarantee you there are people with 20 followers on Instagram who could sell 100 shirts because they've built that kind of relationship with them. And that's the way I feel business should be done.
I love that. Kind of along those lines, one of the reasons that you have so many super fans is because you're always creating from this place of both what you want to share and what your audience needs to hear. So how did you know that this was the story you needed to tell and that they needed to hear right now?
Yeah, I mean, number one, it's because I coach a lot of people. I help a lot of people with their businesses. And the number one question they have is, well, how do I grow my audience, right? Because they might feel like they're stagnant or plateauing. And I'm like, okay, like, tell me what strategies you're using, right? And it's always traffic-related strategies. It's always some sort of social media repurposing, sharing strategy or something like that, which is super boring. It's like, oh my gosh, like you got to take this content that you put on your podcast, rip out the audio, put it in a video, rip out the video, put it on Instagram. And it's just like a time suck. But nowhere in these responses am I getting, oh, I'm reaching out to my customers or my subscribers and I'm actually asking them what they need help with. And I'm like, this is so reverse. Like this needs to change. And you can grow your business by providing amazing experiences for fewer people who are going to bring new people in for you without you even trying. And it's more fun to do that. And it just elevates the culture of your brand. And so this book is very much for my super fans who are also trying to build a business too. But it's also because I was very surprised about how the impact super fans have made. I mean, when this book came out on pre-order, somebody emailed me right away and was just like, hey, Pat, I see your new book and it looks pretty cool. I read the description. I would love to buy 100 copies for my family and friends. And I was just like, what? It's like, this is crazy. And you know, I like, you get super fans who like, my podcast comes out on Wednesdays, right? And a couple times I've been late with my podcast, and it's the super fans who are going to be upset at you about that, right? They're going to be like, Pat, are you okay? Did you die? Like, what happened? Like, where's my show? I need my show. And some people get really angry about that. But that's really cool when you have that sort of feeling, because what happens with super fans, just like with a sports team, right? Like when a sports team who somebody cares about loses, like you might cry. Like you feel the emotion, you feel the loss with not just the team, but other people who are also part of that fan base too, right? But when you win big and you feel good and you get excited and you do just like weird things that people outside of the world would just go, that's ridiculous. Like, wow, you know, painted your body those colors in the cold. Yes, because I love this group, or I love this people, or I love this brand, or what have you. And I'm not saying we need to build super fans in our business to a point where people are painting their bodies, but to a point where people are doing ridiculous things to show their support. And that's what this is about. And that only comes with creating these magical moments. And my favorite way to create a magical moment, this is so easy. Everybody could do this right now with any of your Instagram followers, for example. And it doesn't have to be Instagram. It could be anywhere. But send a direct message to somebody who's following you. And instead of just texting it, shoot a quick video. And I'll tell you, the response is going to blow you away, because people go, oh my gosh, like you spent the time to shoot this video for me. Yeah, it was only 8 seconds. But it's not about how long the video was. It was about the fact that you took a little bit of brain space to focus on them just for a little bit of time. And that little bit of focus goes a very, very long way in terms of somebody's feeling toward you and your brand. The moment somebody else in their life asks, oh, who should I go to follow to do X, Y, or Z? If you provide those kinds of solutions, guess who's going to be recommended? You're going to come to mind because you've given them those little bit of experiences. I mean, it's like you become a fan for life at that point when just a little bit of attention goes your way. And that's really coming down to just the human need for belonging. We need to feel like we belong to somewhere. And when you, as the creator, the brand owner, the founder, create a place where people can come together and feel like they belong to something, which means a little bit of attention, which means access to other people in the community. I mean, they're there for life, and they're there to root for you. They're going to defend you from trolls. They're going to market for you without you even asking. And that's the key here. The problem is it's not as measurable, which I think is why people love the funnel, the funnel, where it's like, okay, 1,000 people came in through my email list. 10% of those people bought. 10% of those people purchased my master program. Okay, that's cool. There's numbers, you can measure it. That's exciting. It's hard to measure how much a fan is, how super a super fan is. But you shouldn't measure it. You just do it because for the love of helping others, and in return, you're going to have some amazing opportunities come your way.
That's beautiful. And so what you're really doing is tapping into humanity, right? Our need for connection, our need for belonging, rather than, like you said, the boring, dry strategy, logical, whatever, right?
Exactly.
Forming relationships, actual relationships. I mean, this business's community is life with passion, right? So we're all in this because we want to help. We love serving and want to do what we love, like you. And so I think that it's just such a fantastic reminder. Even the words magical moments, experiences, all of this is about connection, people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, right? This is why we talk about when we go to a Disney cruise. Like, everybody raves about Disney cruises, right? Because from the moment you walk, I don't know if you've ever been on a Disney cruise, but you walk in with your family and you hear on the PA, and now is the Flynn family, yay! Like, everybody welcomes you. It's like, wow, it's like you didn't have to do that. And that's the thing. Like, you don't have to do this, but you should. And that's what creates those magical moments. And that's what gets you to go home and just start raving about a Disney cruise, and why I'm talking about it here on this live stream. Like, how can you create a Disney cruise-like experience for your audience? And I would just question, like, when was the last time you actually purposefully gave your audience or any individual a magical moment? And I would guess that probably 95% of businesses have not even considered doing that. That's got to change.
Absolutely. Pat, you have designed one of these experiences for people who buy your book. And I know that it's on pre-order right now. And I can say that, having read it, having seen the way that you provide all of these extras and these magical opportunities and lessons inside the book. So tell everyone how they can get their hands on it and have one of these experiences for themselves.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And Christine, just thank you for having me here. And Ashley, Bettina, Christy, Deneen, Hannah, Joe, Karen, Kim, Meryl, PJ, Teresa, Ashley, thank you so much for being here and watching this. I'm doing a little deal. If you pre-order the book, Superfans, before August 13th, you can pre-order on Barnes & Noble or Amazon. And if you submit your receipt at yoursuperfans.com, you'll get the audiobook for free during launch week. And the audiobook usually costs even more than the physical hard copy too, which is pretty cool. So yoursuperfans.com, submit your receipt there so you can get the super cool bonus. And I'm just super thankful for your support. I appreciate you. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much, Pat. It went so fast I could talk to you all day. I appreciate you making the time.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you, everybody.
Have a great day. Good luck with the launch.
Thank you. I'm off to my next call. Bye.
Bye.